Let's now take you to our major story of the day. And I have my guest already seated to discuss these issues. So when you hear former President Olusegun Obasanjo, you of course know some of his stands and his position on who becomes Nigeria's next president. After he said he had forgiven his former vice president, Atiku Abubakar, who is a PDP presidential candidate for the 2019 presidential race. He's not made it a quiet response on the performance of the Buhari government. He said that the government has not performed to expectation. Recently, the former president had said that sitting on the fence is not his own idea. And some of these, in his own words, the former president in a statement says that that only a fool will sit on the fence or be neutral when his or her country is being destroyed with incompetence, corruption, lack of focus, insecurity, nepotism, brazen impunity, and denial of the obvious. Chief Obasanjo is no such fool, nor is he so unwise. The statement from the office of the former president went further to say that the former president reassures Nigerians that he will not sit on the fence when he needs to be out and active for people to know where he stands in the best interest of Nigeria. This is not the first time the former president will be talking so deeply about this present administration, especially as we approach the 2019 election. What are the implications of what he's saying? Are they new to the ears of the APC government or their supporters? What does this mean for the PDP and perhaps the other political parties in this race? We've heard him during all the administrations and his stance. Let's get to discuss this now. The federal government has come out to reply, and we'll show you that in the course of the program. Tonight, I have joining me from our Abuja studio, Mr. Baffa Saleh, an APC member, and one of the spokespersons of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council, and a former aide to the former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Mr. Osuntokun. Both gentlemen joined us from our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on the program today. Let me first and foremost ask Mr. Osuntokun. The stance of the former President Olusegun Obasanjo is perhaps not new. And when it comes out to hit at the government of the day, there's always a remembrance of what he said during former President Jonathan's administration and what he said also at other times before elections. So what he has said today, of what political implication do you think these will hold, especially for voters in Nigeria?
Well, you know, I think we are just making a controversy out of a non-issue. I mean, his position is well stated and clear enough. I mean, as far as this round of this election cycle is concerned, he has openly come out to endorse whom he deems fit, or the better of the two frontline candidates contesting in 2019 elections. So, but I don't know, I'm at a loss as to really what else I can add to that. He has made his case, in a detailed critique, of this government, of this presidency in January when he came out to as it were, publicly distance himself from the Buhari administration because he has an obligation to do so on account of the fact that he was one of those who championed the election of the president in 2015. And as I don't see anything that has changed. I mean, I really don't get the point. I don't know what the issue is at hand. When he was going to endorse the presidential candidate of the PDP, that's Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, he also, he took the pains not to speak extemporally. He wrote down his remarks, and those remarks are still available for all to go and see. And he articulated his position as best as he could, and how he arrived at the decision to now support, his former vice president for that position now. So I don't see anything that has materially changed. Of course, there have been, a social media generated controversy as to the effect of, drawing wrong inferences or twisting what is said one way or the other. How anybody can come to the conclusion that asking people to vote for credible candidates right that may down the ballot amounts to a change of his position baffles me. So really, it is not,
all right.
I don't know, Nigerians are fond of this kind of cacophony,
Mr. Osuntokun,
making issues, generating controversies out of non-issue.
We'll perhaps get to some of the deeper parts of what the former president raised. And we are looking at the issues that he raised and how it affects the election. Let me ask Mr. Saleh, who is an APC member, when a former president comes out to describe an administration as one of incompetent, one that is full of corruption, lack of focus, insecurity, nepotism, brazen impunity, and denial of the obvious, how do you think this perception is for your party in the eye of the average voter coming from a former president?
Well, President Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo, has the right to come out and say what he wants to say. This is the democracy. And I don't see anything wrong with what he has said, because the fact is, the same Obasanjo for the last 11 years have been saying a lot of things about Atiku, and it's inside his book, inside a lot of news interviews. So what has happened that has changed his mind about Atiku? And we remember in 2014, he ripped off his PDP membership and said all false things about them. So if somebody will today say, I'm black, and tomorrow I'm white, and the next day I'm green, we only take him serious because he's a former president of this country, and we respect him. But he has one vote, and Nigerians know what the current government has done for them, and they know where we're coming from. And Rome was not built in a day. 16 years of what has happening, and even the military era, it will take a lot of time for this government to make the changes that are required that people will feel. But the fact is, the masses are the ones that are going to come out and vote, not Obasanjo alone. He only has one vote. And I assure you that Nigerians know when Obasanjo said vote for credible people, they will consider the credibility of President Muhammadu Buhari and the credibility of Atiku.